Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, retired librarian turned homeschool mom. This is Kendra. She's annoying. By the time you guys see this, she will be 14. At this time, she is almost 14. This is being shot in March of 2023. This is, I believe, my last film that should come out in 2023. So, but we are going to be reviewing this film. So this is The Death on the Nile. This is the 1978 version, I believe is what this is. Yeah, this is 78. So this is another Agatha Christie film. I've already covered the previous, I think it was maybe, it came out before this. It came out in like 77 or 76 or something. But that was the Murder on the Orient Express, which I believe book-wise for Agatha Christie does actually come out before this. Kendra, cat is being annoying here. So this came out in 78. It does not, Albert Finney, who had played Hussey, Farrow, I'm probably mispronouncing it because I don't speak Belgian or French. He is in fact Belgian. He did not want to do this film because the makeup was stifling in the train. He did not want to be filming in Egypt, which, you know, is hot. So Hercule Poirot is played by Peter Ustinov, I'm mispronouncing that, who plays him periodically at least 3 or 4 more times. It also stars Mia Farrow, who's relatively young and crazy in the film, as well as, you know, in general, because it's Mia Farrow. It also stars Simon MacCorkindale, which is interesting. I've barely seen him. Lois Chiles, she's actually our murder victim. It also has a much older Bette Davis in here. You also have Olivia Hussey, who I believe is a decently well-known actress from a similar, slightly, not too much later than Bette Davis. You have a 50-something-year-old Angela Lansbury in here, and a very young Maggie Smith in here. In fact, Angela Lansbury, Maggie Smith, and Bette Davis shared a trailer in this. And I believe Bette Davis complained about the heat. But again, you're not surprising. So, what is this about? So, Hercule Poirot, there you have this young heiress, Lynette Ridgway. She has stolen, supposedly, the fiance of her, I think it's her niece or her cousin, Jacqueline de Belfont. Simon Doyle is her Jacqueline's fiance. She introduces her to Lynette, who's a heiress. She has a lot of money, and they end up getting married. And Mia Farrow's character is chasing them around their honeymoon, keeps popping up and being insane. And they think they escaped from her, and she ends up chasing them again. Then you have a couple of other people, because similar to the Murder on the Orient Express, you have Lynette Ridgway's character does end up murdered, but you have a bunch of people who want to kill her, and you have Farrow who goes through everybody who wants to kill her. Obviously, Jacqueline, this woman stole her fiance. Let's see. Bette Davis's character, Miss Van Schneider, admires the young woman's pearls. Basically, she wants her for her money. I believe Rosalie Ottoborn is Olivia Hussey's character. I believe she plays the maid, who Lynette Ridgway refuses to basically pay and release from her contract. Angela Lansbury actually does not necessarily want to kill her. She plays, no, never mind. Rosalie Ottoborn, no, her character is the daughter of Angela Lansbury's character, which is Miss Saloom Ottoborn, who's being sued for libel by Lynette Ridgway, because Angela Lansbury plays a very eccentric woman, based on I can't remember the actual woman. She writes very racy novels, and the character is suing her for libel. So obviously, Olivia Hussey, or her character Rosalie Otterborn, wants Ridgway dead, because then, you know, a dead person can't sue for whatever it is, libel. And then you have Maggie Smith's character, who is Miss Bowers, who is a nurse. She is the attendant to the very cranky Miss Van Schneider, played by Bette Davis, because Maggie Smith is very young. And her family had been destroyed by Miss Haviland's father. And I'm trying to think of who else. You have, Kendra, will you stop climbing on things? Get down. And then you have a Dr. Bessner who's on there, he's a quack. He's a quack doctor. And our murder victim is spreading lies about him, because she thinks he killed one of her friends. Let's see, who else is on here that I can remember? It's like pretty much everybody has a reason to kill her. I know her maid is, see the maid listed, which is kind of funny. Maybe this Frances Gillian, who, again, or no, that's uncredited, so that can't be the maid. But yes, there is a maid on here who wants her mistress dead. Here it is. It's Jane Birkin's name of the actress. It's Louise Bergot. And then of course, helping out, and then of course you have George Kennedy is the name of the actor. He's playing Andrew Pentagon. He is the investor in charge of Miss Ridgway's American investments, and he's essentially trying to swindle her and steal her money. And then you have David Niven, who plays Colonel Race, who is, apparently the character shows up in a lot of Agatha Christie novels, and he's supposedly the representative or an agent investigating Andrew Pennington, in that, Kendra, you cannot get out and stop playing with trouble. They're not happy about how they believe the American Pennington is trying to, as they're correct, to destroy and steal Ridgway's money. And then, of course, you have Simon Doyle, who supposedly was in love with Jacqueline and then suddenly became madly in love with the very wealthy Lynette Ridgway. So, it's a very interesting film. It's set in 1937, so it's the kind of the, technically it's Depression era. It's right before World War II. Still kind of in the jazz era, so that's kind of the fashion. It's an interesting film. I'm going to ruin this for you by warning. So if you don't want to hear the ending, stop now. But it basically, you do similar to the Orient Express. Anybody could have done it, but it does end up being the two original lovers. So Mia Farrow's character and the fiance and the current husband who murder her because they're technically still in love, and then they commit suicide. So they kill themselves. Well, actually, Mia Farrow's character being crazy, and the, well done in casting, because Mia Farrow is in fact nuts, shoots him and then shoots herself. So it's an interesting film. It's fun to see Angela Lansbury in a very creative. She's very, very eccentric. I've never seen Bette Davis before, and again, she's very, very cranky in this. But again, that's kind of the way her acting is. I'd like to see her when she's younger, but this is obviously later in her career. This is near the end. It's fun to see Maggie Smith, who's a favorite actress of mine, who's now a damn Maggie Smith. And of course, the late Angela Lansbury was knighted as well. But Maggie Smith is very, very young. She's also very, very cranky in this. But again, that's kind of her character. That's what she plays in film. She's very quirky. She's very cranky. And she's constantly being tortured by her mistress in here, which is the reason she's being dragged along this, being forced to deal with the heat, being forced to be in the sun. But it's kind of interesting to see Maggie Smith, who's normally in the cranky older lady roles, or the dame roles, as you would put it, that I've seen her in, to being the exact opposite and playing opposite Bette Davis, who's in that type of role. And then, of course, to see Angela Lansbury being very eccentric and very crazy. Very, very crazy. She wears a turban in this, and she's very eccentrically dressed in this. But it's a fun mystery film. I actually watched this with my husband, as I did Murder on the Orient Express. There's a little bit more blood in this one because there's more murders. Not only do you have the original murder, Angela Lansbury's character is shot in the head. The maid has her throat slit. And then, of course, the murder-suicide of the murderers. So it's kind of, it's interesting. There's a little bit more blood. Not as much. Again, this is the late 70s. So, Kendra, be quiet. You wanted in, and now you're in. She's irritating. Don't argue with me, you annoying animal. Oh, cats. My firstborn, so to speak. Kendra. Annoying creature. Okay, back to the video, except for me dealing with the annoying creature. Here, bring her up again. Annoying creature, very cute. Occasionally very cuddly, but also extremely cranky. But again, she's almost 14. So they're showing that it is. It's a fun film. Depends on age range and interest level. I'd say no earlier than maybe late elementary would enjoy this. Younger kids aren't going to get this. Not to mention, of course, there's making out scenes. Because, yeah, they definitely play up the young lovers. And there's guns and shooting and talking of course, Angela Lansbury's writes very interesting. Basically, she writes 30s porn. She's based off a real character who probably wrote 30s porn. So they know nothing of the detail is talked about that. But it's implied. It's very interesting. I'm not sure which Perot I like, but I'm also used to the other character who was on the other mystery who played Perot, whose actor I cannot remember the name of. I may cover him at a later date. Kendra. But I also like Albert Finney. He's in the Kendra. Please ignore the cat tail. The cat is cute, but the cat is annoying. Kendra. Now you bring my hair. All right. Hopefully she's not disrupting the mic here. Kendra. All right. So that's it. I really recommend this. It's very fun. It's very, very entertaining. It's interesting to see some of the older actresses playing younger characters and middle-aged characters. And of course you see Bette Davis. So it's a fun mystery film. So if you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. I am going to be covering a bunch more mystery stuff. I'm covering the Boxcar Children next year, kind of midway through next year. And then I'm kind of covering a bunch of TV shows. I do, in fact, have Murder, She Wrote on there. So we will get back to Angela Lansbury, who I adore if you want to talk. This is the third film I covered her. The second one this year. She was in Harvey Girls, which she was younger. Opposite actress name. Whose name I cannot remember. Very much of a drug addict. Who played Dorothy Gale. And again, my brain it's almost 8 o'clock at night, and I have a small child who didn't sleep well last night and stayed home sick from school. I can't remember the name. You're familiar with the world. You'll know who played Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz. And that's who Angela Lansbury played opposite. And now she's in this. Obviously older. She's in her 50s. And then I covered one of my favorite films, which is Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And then next year I will be covering her as Jessica Fletcher in Murder, She Wrote, which is a TV show I absolutely love. And was taken off air because Friends is annoying. Yes, Friends. But moving on. So look forward to next year. I'm going to be covering more, again, I said, more mystery stuff. And I think I'm covering more mysteries again next December. So, but that is not planned out yet. We will see. I may cover more Farrow and more Agatha Christie. We will see. So look forward to next year. If you like what you see, like and subscribe and check out what I got. Thank you.